Welcome back to the channel. Today we're reviewing one of the most impactful college football games of the season, Georgia vs. Alabama in the 2025 SEC Championship. This wasn't just another matchup, it was a game that reshaped expectations and raised critical questions about the playoff landscape. Let's break down exactly what happened and why it matters. This game carried immense pre-game pressure. Alabama entered fighting for a playoff berth, while Georgia aimed to secure another dominating title performance. Analysts expected a close contest, but the result turned out to be far from balanced. Georgia didn't just win, they controlled both sides of the ball from start to finish. One of the defining storylines of this matchup was Georgia's defense. Their performance was disciplined, strategic, and consistently disruptive. Alabama was held to -3 rushing yards, a statistic that speaks volumes about Georgia's preparation and execution. Georgia's defensive front maintained lane discipline, shedding blocks and winning the line of scrimmage repeatedly. Their linebackers reacted instantly, diagnosing plays faster than Alabama could adjust. The secondary remained composed, eliminating quick options for the quarterback and forcing longer reads that often collapsed under pressure. What stood out most was how Georgia avoided unnecessary risks. Every blitz was purposeful, every coverage assignment precise. Their defensive identity was built around structure and control, and it paid off at every major moment of the game. While the defense stole much of the spotlight, Georgia's offense deserves equal credit for managing the game intelligently. Quarterback Gunner Stockton finished with 20 completions on 26 attempts, totaling 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. These numbers highlight efficiency rather than explosiveness, and efficiency is exactly what Georgia needed. The offensive game plan prioritized short, high-percentage throws and controlled drives. Stockton maintained excellent composure, avoiding dangerous passes and keeping Georgia ahead on the chains. Their running game provided balance, even though the rushing stats weren't overwhelming. The objective wasn't yardage, it was maintaining tempo and preventing Alabama from gaining momentum. Georgia's offense looked like a well-coordinated unit. Every possession showed discipline. They controlled the pace, avoided turnovers, and capitalized on field position. It was textbook championship execution. For Alabama, the night was challenging from the opening whistle. Their offense struggled to establish any rhythm, largely due to Georgia's defensive pressure. Pass protection broke down frequently, limiting the quarterback's ability to operate comfortably. The run game never developed, forcing Alabama into predictable passing situations. Even when Alabama found small windows, Georgia closed them quickly. Their drives often stalled at critical moments, preventing any sustained momentum. Alabama did manage to score in the fourth quarter, but by then, Georgia's lead and control of the game were already firmly established. This wasn't simply a matter of execution, it was a systemic issue across Alabama's offense. Georgia dictated the terms of engagement, and Alabama never truly found answers. Let's break down the most crucial moments of the game, the plays that shifted momentum and shaped the final result. 1. Red zone stand in the first quarter. Georgia's defense delivered an early message by stopping Alabama inside the red zone. This moment established Georgia's confidence and forced Alabama into difficult early decisions. 2. First touchdown from Stockton. A well-timed throw into tight coverage gave Georgia the first real breakthrough. It showcased their composure and exposed weaknesses in Alabama's secondary. 3. Strip sack turnover. One of the game's biggest swings came from Georgia's defensive front forcing a fumble. This turnover gave Georgia a short field, which they converted into more points. It widened the gap and altered the emotional balance of the game. 4. Third quarter defensive pressure. Each time Alabama attempted to adjust, Georgia increased pressure. Several drives collapsed under relentless defensive pursuit, preventing Alabama from closing the score gap. 5. Georgia's final touchdown. The last touchdown symbolized Georgia's complete control. It wasn't just another score, it represented the end of Alabama's playoff hopes and sealed Georgia's championship momentum. Georgia delivered a balanced, composed, and thoroughly coordinated performance. Their defense set the tone, their offense avoided mistakes, and their special teams supported field position. This game showed that Georgia isn't just strong, they're structured, disciplined, and capable of dominating elite opponents. Their ability to stay consistent across all 4 quarters suggests they are entering the postseason with confidence and clarity. Georgia demonstrated championship traits: execution, patience, and situational awareness. Now let's discuss Alabama's position after this loss. A 28-7 defeat in a championship game carries significant weight for the committee. Alabama's season featured moments of strength, but this particular result creates major doubt. Their offensive limitations, combined with Georgia's defensive pressure, revealed areas where Alabama must improve. While their playoff chances aren't mathematically eliminated, the path ahead is narrow and depends heavily on external results. This loss isn't the end of Alabama's story, but it's a turning point that could define their long-term direction. In summary, Georgia produced one of their most complete performances of the season, combining execution and discipline at every level. Alabama struggled, and Georgia took advantage of every opportunity. This game reshaped the playoff narrative and established Georgia as a legitimate force heading into the postseason. If you enjoyed this detailed review, make sure to follow for more in-depth game analysis. Share your thoughts. Did this game change your perception of either team? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.